And this is perhaps a little bit of not critique, but I would say some suggestions for everybody who have watched the movie and like the message, or agrees with the message, or resonates with the message. I want to pose this question to you: what or where do we go from here? And what I want to speak about is that I want to defend the idea that we need to go beyond feminism. And oh my goodness, don't cancel me, okay? I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. Now, feminism is trying to level the playing field between men and women, equality of economic, political, legal opportunities as a way of securing women's freedom, right? As a way of having a fair chance at life, a fair shot at life. But something, and that's why what I'm trying to say is that feminism is a means to an end, okay? A means to an end. Meaning once you have the societal structures that have, give you equal rights, and for the most part, I'm not saying everywhere, we need still a lot of work, in helping women's rights and helping women in general. But once you reach a decent amount of equality, but even if we were to achieve, an ideal utopia that we are completely equal, then feminism cannot really respond to what is the good life, what is a life worth living, the value questions of life, what is the meaning of life, what is the purpose of life. And please don't say, I don't want comments saying like, oh, life has no purpose, why does it have to have purpose? Please, it's like, stop it. So if you don't know why I'm saying that, watch the first 3 episodes. You cannot live with a purpose. That's a complete lie. That's garbage. That is the lie we've been told in modern times, that no, you don't. Why do you need purpose? You can just do whatever. No. If you listen to those episodes, you will realize what I mean by that, and which that is an illusion. You actually live through a conception of the good that is your highest purpose in life. So there's no needing a life purpose. That's not true. Now, it is true that oppressive structures, tyranny, can make it really difficult to even self-actualize, or even to have the space to be and think of what is the good life. Yes, that's why we need to fight for equality and to reduce and minimize the tyrannical aspects of our society. So I do believe social justice is super important to as a vehicle to allow this space for people to actually think and live their lives. Now, but I'm saying that feminism is fighting for equality. So once you have that, then there is more than feminism, which is the question about the good life. What is the life worth living? What are we here for? And you're gonna say, oh, just equality. No, because equality is instrumental. It has a means to an end. It's instrumental to allow women to have the space to not only think about those questions, but actually live or embody the answers to the question of what the good life is. So yes, but it's instrumental. It's a means to an end. That's why I'm saying we need to go beyond feminism. And I'm saying this especially because now it has become really popular, what some people call choice feminism. Now, what does choice feminism mean? It means that as long as a woman, all empowered, decides to do whatever she wants, then that's fine. If she consents it, if that makes her happy, and that, then it is good. That is a proper way of embodying the freedom that feminism gives you. And so choice feminism is almost like a way of making the liberty or the freedom that feminism is fighting for as an end, like as an end, as, oh, the highest virtue is consent, or just you choosing it. And I think that's not true. And so you could also see some of my clips on consent, because consent, there are boundaries, ethical boundaries of consenting. You can consent to the wrong things, to immoral things, and just because you consented, that doesn't make it right. Same thing with you consenting to becoming the slave of somebody. In many constitutions, that is not allowed, because it is interpreted by many people that you're gonna there are things that are completely immoral even if you consented. You could also see this, how even teenagers or young people, when they consented to have sexual acts with older people, and so obviously this is a crime. Underage people consenting doesn't count, even if they were consenting psychologically or consciously to be, let's imagine a 12 years old consenting to have sexual relationship with a 20 years old. Okay, so even if you consent, that is not enough, because we understand that people under psychological distress or manipulation or trauma, they have their capacity impaired to actually judge accordingly. So you can see even in our society and psychological therapy how consent is not the highest virtue or the most important thing, even though we for the most part are told that's the case. You know, for example, now feminism is divided, right? Because choice feminism is like everything goes as long as you consented. So that means that I can do OnlyFans, I can show my body naked, I can do porn, I can do all of that, and it's completely fine because I am empowered and I choose it on my own. And so the other part of feminism is like, no, because these things are degrading. So they are defending that not everything goes, and that there are things that are degrading to the human spirit. And so as you can see, it's not so obvious, this idea, right? So I'm here basically criticizing people who just defend the idea of choice feminism, and they think that consent is the highest virtue. I don't think that's the case. I don't think psychological therapy seems to work in a way that is opposing that ideal. And you know, many issues of the moral and spiritual life cannot be resolved just by saying I consented. So that's why I'm saying we need to go beyond feminism. Feminism is instrumental, it is a vehicle, is allowing to create a space where women can make a decision and have the freedom to think through it and see what path to follow. But that doesn't necessarily imply that any path is equal to all the paths, you know? And so, yeah, so there's no moral neutrality here. That's another thing that you can watch in the first episode. I talk about in episode 3, avoid moral neutrality. It's a myth, it doesn't exist. Okay, so, and I would say that is key here. Okay, so to just know that feminism is instrumental, is a means to an end. The end here is to be able to live a life worth living and to be able to reflect on what the good life is and what are we here for. And so this is a value question, and that means reading, researching, love. And anyways, in my view is that we are here to love and be loved, and I do believe that the best account of the human and spiritual experience is with a God, and I understand it in the Christian terms. That is, I'm just telling you all honestly where I'm coming from, but I would say I'm not used, even if I have spiritual reasons that I live by, that doesn't negate my argument here, because I'm not using the biblical text as a way of defending my position here. I'm just using the philosophical argumentation of appealing to your reason and showing you examples that we live by, and I'm showing you how choice feminism, or this idea of feminism as an end, doesn't work. It doesn't work in many ways, and so we need to go beyond that. However, it is necessary. I think that is a net positive. What happens, even though you still find these trends that are completely radicalized and that I completely disagree with, as I'm telling you here.